Welcome, podcast listeners. This is Angelo, and with me today is Nancy.
It's me.
It's you, and we're bringing you, dear listener, a brand new episode of the Otafest podcast.
Yes.
But before we get too far, we have some news for you. Incoming transmission from Chinook Crafts. For 2025, Otafest Pokemon League will be presented by Chinook Crafts, and they've been teaming up with us to provide an awesome experience for fans, friends, and families for many years. We're absolutely joyful to join up again, and they have a short message for everyone.
For over 10 years, Chinook Crafts has been a proud exhibitor at Otafest and sponsor of the Otafest Pokemon League. And as a Calgary-based small business, we are humbled to be part of such a strong and thriving local community.
Whether you're a seasoned con-goer or it's your first time attending Otafest, please make sure to stop by and see us in the Exhibitors Hall at Booth C8. We've brought hundreds of handcrafted, resin-cast, and laser-cut products inspired by your favorite anime, video game, and pop culture franchises.
Fill your wallet with rupees before setting off to Hyrule. Snag a Pokemon Firestone and evolve your Growlithe. Or become a Digi-destined with your very own tag and crest. Visit us at Booth C8 during Otafest 2025 or order online at chinookcrafts.etsy.com.
Yeah, I love their booth. They always have such interesting
I do
stuff.
too. They always have the coolest stuff there.
And I mean, it is stuff that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah. It is. It's good quality stuff.
Now, unfortunately, Jay could not make it with us tonight because the PSU in his computer has inexplicably exploded. I heard that it was quite the loud affair.
I almost thought we were going to say Jay couldn't make it and expresses his deepest condolences for the loss of him.
I don't know. That doesn't sound like Jay. I feel like he'd be celebrating having the night off.
Oh, that's very possible. Boy is so busy.
He really is.
He's so busy.
Yeah.
I don't know the full story of what exactly happened with this explosione, but was it like a violent pop? Was it a fire? Was there smoke? What happened?
I also don't know. All that we know is that Jay couldn't be here because he is actively at Memory Express purchasing a new power supply to put into his system. And this is like an old story. If you remember, Jay sourced all the parts for his PC very specifically, very selectively over the course of months so that everything could match. So the fact that he's just like biting the bullet and going to Memory Express, grabbing whatever they have there, it's really surprising.
Yeah, and if you remember, just a couple of weeks ago, Angelo had a stint with some computer gremlins, and they have now passed on to Jay, which makes me fear for my life because the equipment and items I am currently recording with are actually career-ending things if I have to lose them all in one go. Like I'm waiting for a power blip to burn everything out.
Do you not have a UPS?
We do now.
Oh, you do now? Oh, then you're good.
We do now.
You're good.
Just a couple of days ago, my parents called me frantically. My mom tells me, Nancy, I got a message from my cell phone company, and it says that I've used all of my data for the month. And I'm like, what do you mean? How did you go through all of your data for the month? I have you on one of those insane, really like lots of data. What do you mean you used it all? And she goes, I don't know what happened, but I think yesterday when the power, we had like a 2 to 3 second power blip. Power went out for a couple seconds and then came back on. And then I think after that, our Wi-Fi stopped working and I just didn't know because my phone was just on data.
Oh.
And I was like, okay.
Oh, no.
So
was
we spent...
Nancy's mom spending all night watching VTubers or something?
She watches a lot of video media, and yeah, that does burn through like,
Oh, it
2 gigs of
does.
data. So, I mean, good for her. I'm glad. She finds really good entertainment. It's like a mix of like cooking videos, funny videos, travel logs, like stuff like that. So it's all good fun, but like she didn't realize that she was using all of her data. So, she kind of just like didn't know what to do. And then Wi-Fi was also broken, so they just didn't have internet at home,
Oh
which
no.
was super terrible. So we spent like 2.5 hours trying to get their mesh network back up, and there was firmware problems, and then the node wasn't responding, and then one of the other nodes became the new node, the new main node, and then yeah. Eventually, everything just sort of started working again, which is inexplicable. Like that sounds like very gremlin territory. When you fix things and for no explainable reason, they just start working.
Oh yeah, 100%. I was actually I had a friend who has just recently dived into game dev, and
Ooh.
they were asking me, they were like, "Hey, what is going on here? Why are these certain things really broken for some reason?" And one of the things that was happening, they were trying to embed a game into an itch.io page, right?
Oh, okay.
And for a lot of people, the game was cut off, but for them, it was looking perfect. Uh,
Hmm.
and I was asking them about it, and they're like, "Yeah, this is the resolution for the game, but this is the resolution that I have on the itch.io page." Well, those are two resolutions. What do you mean? Set it to the proper resolution, and then they did that. That was working good. But they were saying that, "Oh, I've
Ah.
got black bars on my screen." And they had desktop scaling set differently in Windows. So
Oh.
it was when they'd actually resized it, it worked right on their PC, but wrong on everybody else's.
That is definitely one of those you'll never be able to properly replicate it. So like a really common thing that you do for web dev is you open up either an entirely separate browser, or you like open up like incognito mode or something to try and see
Yeah.
what it would probably look like for other people. And that is one of those exact situations where you would never be able to reproduce what it actually looks like for someone else.
Yep. That was a fun thing. A fun thing to try to troubleshoot.
Mm-hmm.
Uh but getting back to power supplies, I entirely believe that it might be Jay's GPU that
Oh
could be the culprit,
no.
because Jay has a 3090, if I remember correctly. The 3090 had a very specific issue where it would dramatically spike in power every so often. So, like, it would be chugging along using 300 watts because it's a power hungry beast. But every so often, it would go and use like 400, 450 watts for a tenth of a second or a quarter of a second.
That is so weird.
And those are the sort of things that's really, really hard on a PSU, on
Oh
your power
yeah.
supply.
So you think that caused it?
Entirely possible, but this really is me pulling just things out of my butt. Uh,
Ah.
but that just makes me realize GPUs, like graphics cards these days, are stupid power hungry. I remember
Correct.
I remember when I upgraded from a 1060 Ti to my Vega 64 at one point in time. I actively had to replace my power supply. I was rocking a 600 or 650 watt power supply, and that was plenty. But the Vega 64 ran up to 300 watts and idled around 250. So it was a beefy PSU, and I was like, well, I'd better future proof. I'd better buy myself one of them 850 watt power supplies. That's not good enough anymore. If you run a high-end graphics card, you need like minimum 1000 watt power supplies these days. And that's
That is
insane.
wild to me. That I think that puts it over the amount of constant usage that even my I may be misremembering, but I feel like that's more than most of my other home appliances would.
It will be close. The only things that would use more than 1,000 watts on the regular would be things like hair dryers, really nice like 4-slot toasters,
Jeez.
powerful microwaves,
Jeez.
things of that nature. And if you have a powerful computer like that, and you start stacking monitors, for example,
Oh no.
monitors and peripherals on the same circuit, you actually could get
No.
into a situation where you need 2 dedicated circuits just so that you can run your battle station.
That is ridiculous.
It honestly is.
Rip my electricity bill.
For real.
Oh. Well, it's a good thing I'm not replacing my computer anytime soon. No, no, not my computer, nor most of my peripherals, no.
If anything,
I'm
I'm surprised that you're not building a very purpose-built computer. I'm kind of surprised you're not trying to build like a passively cooled PC.
I would love to be able to build a passively cooled PC.
Yeah. They
But
seem so interesting, and passively cooled heat sinks are the dumbest, most giant looking things, and I love them.
well, unfortunately, all of my money right now is going towards obtaining a very large piece of furniture that was very, very expensive.
Yeah, you're getting yourself a very nice recording booth.
I sure am. And would you know it, soundproofing is very heavy, which is another reason why I didn't put this on the second floor. Because even if I was going to like convert an entire office room into an isolated sound booth, it would get significantly heavier. Like the whole room would get significantly heavier because of all the soundproofing material I'd have to put in it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the booth I'm getting weighs 2 baby grand pianos, but it only has a footprint of about 1 by 1.5 meters, which means it's very concentrated weight on a pretty small spot that I don't have the like ability to distribute well. Um, you'd only have to revisit this kind of calculation if you were like, what would happen if I put a treadmill upstairs? Like, treadmills are pretty heavy, but they're nowhere near 1,200 pounds heavy.
For real. For real. Honestly, I'm so excited for you to have this sound booth. I have had the opportunity to play in a very similar sound booth
Mm-hmm.
at one of our a voice actor friend's house, and it was really great. We were over for a Halloween party, and what we were doing, everybody would take turns going to the sound booth and giving their best actively being murdered scream.
Just to make sure that if we were going to kill you, we could do it in that booth, right?
Oh, exactly. No, but
Yeah.
we would judge. Well, the idea was that we would judge the screams later on. It turned out that everybody was far too inebriated to actually remember to do that.
Ah, ha
So everybody was
ha.
just going into the booth and recording themselves screaming their lungs out for no reason. It was
Oh,
great.
that makes sense. That makes sense. It's a fun time. But yeah,
But
this
maybe.
is going this is going to be the most amount of lifting I think I've done in quite some time.
Oh, fair. Oh my god, you're going to get so buff.
I'm already getting buff because in order to make space for this to live downstairs so it can be on a foundation instead of being on wood framing, which is what most Calgary houses are built out of, we had to turn the guest bedroom into the office, which means the guest bed has to go somewhere, and the only place it can go is the second floor. So we have now displaced all of the desks out of my office and my sound booth, my current sound booth, out of the office, and turned that into the guest bed. My desk has been shoved over into the library, and all of the other office desks have been now migrated downstairs into the basement. And then there's all the other, bits and pieces that happen around that, like bookshelves. Bookshelves all got relocated. All the items on said bookshelves had to be relocated.
Oh
Uh,
no.
the nightstands that used to go with the guest bed have to go upstairs also. Like there's so much stuff. And that that mattress, I genuinely despise moving that mattress
Oh, I
because
believe
it
it.
has nowhere for you to put your hands. You're hanging onto a very unwieldy, floppy, and still heavy thing, and there's nowhere to hang on to. It's just like you're kind of grabbing onto a seam and hoping that you hang on.
Oh my god, I hate that. I moving mattresses, I don't know what happened. From I want to say like 2005 up until about 2015, all of the mattresses that were made were your standard sort of like foam mattress with a heavy ass pillow top on top of it. So it's not only just floppy, it is insanely heavy, and
Mm-hmm.
most of them are made without handles. But
Yeah.
honestly, even if they're made with handles, the handles just rip off the second time you ever try to move it.
Oh, no way. Yeah. So I was just like hanging on with my, and by the way, I have very, very small hands. I'm just trying to hang on to like some seams with my little hands, and like I'm trying to yank this thing up 2 floors. Sean is trying to support most of the weight from the bottom side and just like pushing when I tell him to push. It was madness. But between the two of us, we did a massive amount of rearranging of large pieces of furniture. I'm very proud.
Yippee.
I'm
You
very proud.
finally have an office and a recording space in the basement.
And you know what?
What?
Moving my desk has exposed a gigantic stain on the carpet, and I didn't know it was there. So I have a sit stand desk. It has a
Okay.
motor, so I can press up and down and it'll just raise and lower for me, which is
Was it
wonderful.
leaking oil?
Yeah.
Oh
It
no.
I think it's just like regular, lubrication. It seems to be a fairly light and thin oil, but I don't know why it's leaking down both of the table legs and just leaking just like all the time, and it apparently left a really big stain on the now guest room carpet. And I think what it actually does is it highlights the fact that that leg specifically was sitting over the floor vent, and that floor vent for some reason has a lot of dark staining around it, and I don't know what that means. Like, is it my furnace? Do I need to fix the furnace? Why is it only that vent? And like, how do I get an oil stain out of the carpet? Like, I've tried with dish soap. Like,
Oh, you
Dawn,
don't.
I have tried, and it just does not come out.
Honestly, if you use like a proper carpet cleaner, like a heated carpet cleaner with a strong detergent, it will probably work. You'll probably be able to get like 99% of the stain out, but never 100. Ooh,
Ugh.
oil stains are the worst. Oil stains are the worst.
Like it's a clear oil. Like when I wipe it off the desk itself, because it is like slowly dripping down the legs. When I wipe it off, it's clear. So I think the oil itself might have been fine, but because it sat over that vent, it caught all of the particulate dust that was coming out through the vent,
Oh.
and that's what was discoloring it. Because there's all this dark staining around that vent, and I don't know how this all works. I'm just very put upon because if I didn't have to move my desk, I would never have had to have known that was there.
Now
now
just
I know
put
it's
the
there,
guest
and that
bed
bothers
over
me.
the stain. Problem solved.
Just put the bed over the stain. It's fine.
Exactly.
But I can't.
It's the guest room. You don't have to worry about it.
If only that was the case. But yes, there's an extreme amount of furniture flux at the moment as we try to find new homes for everything, and it's interesting because I fully believe that the movie collection should live near the actual TV where we watch movies, but it only has space on shelves upstairs in my library. So where are we putting them?
Ah, in the library.
In the library.
Away from the movie. a movie machine.
Where all the media is, evidently.
What you need
But
to do is just keep the physical media for display purposes and make yourself like a Jellyfin or a Plex server.
we have a NAS.
Perfect.
We already do this. I think it's just for that nice time where you're like, I feel like playing the Blu-ray this time. I want lag-free play of my favorite film.
Lag-free? Blu-ray? Doesn't Blu-ray have like loading time between the menus?
I don't know. You're not in menus very often when you're watching a movie.
I mean, true, but I don't know.
I don't know.
I actually skipped Blu-ray entirely. I never owned a Blu-ray player. That's a lie. I have a PS3.
Yeah, you do. You have a Blu-ray player.
I have never owned a Blu-ray.
Well, that is a Blu-ray player, I guess. But yeah, if you've never owned an actual Blu-ray film.
Like, I went straight from DVD to digital only.
You were an early adopter.
Oh, no. I held on to DVD for a long-ass time.
Oh, you were a resistant adopter.
I was a resistant adopter. But quite frankly, I saw the writing on the wall for Blu-ray from like years away, and I was like, I'm going to skip this media generation. I don't need to deal with that.
And so you didn't. But you know what I will have to deal with? Now that my new recording space is in the basement, I am now firmly in spider territory, and that means that it's very possible that I could be sharing my booth with a spider at any given time. And
Do
that
you actually
terrifies
have a lot
me.
of spiders in your house?
Yeah, we get them occasionally. We see little ones around. Sometimes we get the odd big one, but they're not very frequent.
Yeah, I don't know. In newer houses, I tend not to see very many like house spiders. You know what I mean?
But if you're in a basement, there's always the chance that something gets in through something, and they always hang out in basements.
Oh yeah. And have you heard? They discovered a new type of spider in Australia.
No.
No?
I don't want to know. You're going to tell me though, aren't you?
How much do you know about Australian spiders?
Look, there's a story that I pull out from time to time, and it's the one about Australian spiders.
Okay.
And it involves a dinner plate sized spider.
All right.
So I am aware that spiders down in Australia are terrifyingly large.
The classic terrifying Australian spider was the Sydney funnel web, right? So that was the most venomous spider in the world. It was very large at 2.5 inches on the thorax. The legs were quite big. Its fangs were like 1/4 inch long, and they could bite you right through like a leather boot, for example.
Oh, no.
If you got bitten by one of these and you did not get immediate medical attention, you basically flatlined.
Lovely. And this brand new type of spider is, I'm going to guess,
They
worse
found
than
its
this?
Onichan.
No.
They found the spider that the Sydney funnel web calls Aniki. They found a new species similar to the Sydney funnel web, except twice as large.
No.
Even more aggressive.
Oh, no.
More venomous. And when you think of something like that, you think they would give it like a really scary name, right? You would think that they would be like, yeah, we need to make people know how threatening this new spider is. What do you think they called it?
I don't know.
Well, they called it a big boy.
Oh,
They called
actually
it
named it
The Newcastle Big Boy.
I am not going to go and look at pictures of this on the internet. I am not going to look at photos of this on the internet.
I mean, the internet is yours to discover. I'm not telling you what to do, what not to do. But if you've seen a big scary spider, the Newcastle big boy is a big scary looking spider. And I am so glad that Australia has an entire ocean between them and us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
And a whole entire different climate because no.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. Australia doesn't seem real sometimes.
I'm sure Canada doesn't seem real to Australia sometimes.
True. They're like, oh my god, it's snowing already? You got how much? My god. I was talking to somebody because we got some snow over the weekend, and they're like, what do you mean it's snowing? It's the middle of March. Snow is supposed to be done.
No, we got snow literally today during dinner.
Yeah.
I watched it. It was
Oh my
beautiful.
god. Oh.
Jeez.
Let's talk
But
about
yes.
something a lot more pleasant than Australian spiders.
Yeah, okay, let's do that because one day I will pull the story out and I will tell it to you another time. Just not right now because
All right.
right now I'm more curious about how your keyboard is doing.
So my keyboard, physically, is fantastic. But software-wise, it's been having some hiccups. Every now and then, I'll type a key. I'll type a key. Like I'll say I'll type the E key. I'm trying to be like, oh, I want to talk about emeralds in Minecraft. Let's use the E key a few times, and I press it once, and 2, 3 different E's show up on screen, and I'm like, what's going on?
Oh,
What
no,
is going
they're double
on?
bouncing.
They're double bouncing. This
Oh,
has
dear.
actually been something that I've been dealing with for like the last 5 months.
But
And
think about how cute you sound when you have extra E's at the ends of a word, like the word some. The word some.
Oh my god.
Or when you say yeah.
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 I mean, when I'm just typing in Discord, having a good time with friends, it's no big deal.
Uh-huh.
When I'm trying to program something and I I write like 100 lines of code without running, and I try to go and run, and it's like, oh, I don't know what this variable is because it has 3 extra E's in the name that you didn't notice when you wrote it down. And you're like, oh my fucking god. God damn it.
Your variable really wants you to notice it.
Exactly. Notice me, senpai.
Whee!
For whatever reason, the type of keys that I bought, the Boba for You keys,
Mm-hmm.
this has been a known problem with them, apparently.
Oh.
Apparently, they just, after a while, they wear out and they start double bouncing. And so what I've been having to do, luckily I had the foresight when I bought this key set to order like 20 extra keys. So every now and then I'll just pop out a key and pop in a new one. But then I have to go back to the other key and I'll be like, well, time to open you up, bend back the foil of the switch a little bit, pop you back together and see if I fixed you.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, I only have so many keys and I don't want to buy more.
Well,
And I mean,
that was the joy of having given you a hot swappable board.
I know, but I'm cheap.
Aren't we all? In this economy, that's all we can be.
Oh my god, if I actively, if this happened and I'd soldered in the keys, I would be livid. That would be so bad.
Yeah, I'm very happy that I managed to give you the hot swappable board.
Oh, it's so nice. It's so... If I'm angry about it, it literally just takes me like 30 seconds to unplug my keyboard, take the keycap off, pry out the old key with like a pair of scissors. I should just get myself a key puller tool. They make tools for this.
They literally do, yes, and you end up not destroying your case.
Well, I'm very careful about my case, you see. There's one little clip at the top of the switch and one little clip at the bottom of the switch, and if you just nudge those clips and gently pull up, you will get the switch out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have to buy another tool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I
Mm.
could just do this with a screwdriver even.
Yeah, you could. I'd actually prefer it if you did it with a screwdriver.
But using a tiny little pair of scissors adds an element of danger.
You
I
know,
too like to live dangerously.
you like living dangerously. But would you ever use a file converter website dangerously?
I am a smart person and I listen to the FBI. Actually, so this has been something that's a massive pain in the ass for me.
Oh.
But the FBI has warned against using file converter websites, especially the really common ones like docx to PDF or PDF to docx or image converter websites or anything of that nature. Because a lot of file converter websites are popping up that will inject malicious code into the files.
I am so not surprised.
Same. This is why I don't like using those websites.
Have
The
people never
only
heard of
ones-
Google Drive? You can literally just convert things in there.
But can I convert a GIF to an APNG? Can I convert a JFIF to a PNG? Or
I think you can
a
just do that.
WebP to a PNG?
I think
Or
you
an
can
AFIF? Oh my god, all these garbage
image. Yeah,
image
okay,
formats
sure.
are so bad. Image formats
that's weird.
specifically are so bad. Especially like Discord used to only accept APNG for like sticker uploads.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
They actually do support GIFs now, which is fantastic. But there has been no good software support for APNG anywhere.
Huh.
I have actively had to use in the past GIF to APNG conversion websites.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But apparently there's a couple different attack vectors that these sort of websites will use. Some of them will just be like, yes, download our conversion tool. And the conversion tool is the virus the whole time. Or they'll be like, install our browser extension to convert the file. And it's like, first of all, why in God's name are you doing file conversion in a browser extension? That's bullshit. But really, it just steals all your information from your browser tabs.
Oh, I bet.
But a lot of different files, especially things like Microsoft Office files, where you can embed a lot of Visual Basic into an Office file. They can embed malicious code right into the files, and so when you try to open that file, you just get owned immediately.
Yikes. Let's not do that.
Yeah.
Oh man. Says the person who has to work with like Excel files that don't come from in-house.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
dangerous as hell.
It's not great. It is not great. Thankfully, email
can
attachments
imagine.
do undergo scanning, but I don't know what those scanners actually check for. So I can't say for sure.
It depends a lot on like what's going on. If they've actually embedded like executable code, like actual exploit code in there, that might be able to catch that. If it's the case of like VBA, Visual Basic for Applications, whatever they call it, usually when you open
Yeah.
that up in an Office software, it's like, hey, we've got some scripts in this Office file. Do you want to run them? And a lot of people are like, yes, of course I do, because I want the file to work properly.
Gosh
That's
darn it.
dangerous.
So
That's
PSA
dangerous,
to
especially,
anyone
like-
who's been using file converters, don't.
Stop it. Simply
Just
understand the software and use local software to do it. Use good, trusted local software.
how do you even find good local trusted software these days?
If Linux nerds trust it, I will too. But that only
that's
gets
fair.
you so far.
That's fair.
Like for image conversion, Krita is unironically one of the best art programs out there, and it reads
Hmm.
just about every single image format that there is.
True. I do like Krita.
If you need to
'Cause
convert video files, FFmpeg is literally the best software with the worst interface.
yeah, that is certainly a case for open sourced software. But hey, I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain. It's a free tool.
Oh, it is fantastic. FFmpeg is a better video converter than most things you can get on Windows even.
Very fair.
The
And very
only
true.
problem is that it's command line only.
Mm-hmm.
And the
That
commands
doesn't
are
scare me.
so complicated that you basically have to Google everything you do. Using an FFmpeg command is basically like programming.
Go read the man page for it. I'm sure it's everything you need to know is
The
in
man
there.
page is like 80 pages long.
Oh, yeah, that sounds right. That is
And
a
that's
proper
before
tool.
you get into like the Envy encoder portions of it.
Sounds like it's a proper tool.
Oh, it is a proper tool. It is a good heckin' tool. God damn.
Excellent. Well done. Well done. Man, you've been going through it lately, huh?
We have been.
Well, I guess in like a couple of weeks when my booth shows up, I'll have even bigger arms and possibly really really nice leg muscles after this from carrying everything downstairs.
Oh my god. Are you going to use your massive arm muscles and leg muscles to carry both me and Jay to like KBBQ or something?
I mean, I can carry you there, but carrying you back might be a problem with all the extra pounds of adult pork belly in us.
Oh
Adult
my
bacon.
god. True.
The adult bacon.
True. The thick boy bacon. The
The
Newcastle
thick boys.
big bacon.
No. Why? Why? At least we didn't name it something from Calgary. I feel like that would have been the worst thing to have a spider named after the city.
Oh my god. What would they even call it?
I mean, I see the name Newcastle Big Boy and I already think of like an exaggerated cartoonish cowboy but like, you know, the one with the black hat.
Oh,
The bad
absolutely.
guy.
Absolutely the bad guy.
Like I don't even know. I mean, jeez. Yeah. Spiders aside, we have all been going through it. Something about Mercury going into retrograde. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that too much, but it does seem like a lot of really weird things have just been hiccuping, for lack of a better word, in like both your personal life, Jay's personal life, my personal life, just like not work related things, but maybe even also work related things. Just things in life just aren't super lining up and it feels weird. Like it's catching me off kilter a bunch.
The universe is just trying to get all of our bad luck out of the way before Otafest happens.
Oh yeah.
That way that we can just enjoy the weekend.
Yeah,
Smooth
no, you're right.
sailing for every single day.
You are correct. That is likely what is happening. Because every year, without fail, I will finish getting sick right before Otafest, so I don't ever get sick from Otafest.
Oh, really?
Like, I've never gotten sick from Otafest ever.
Oh
In
my
the
God.
many years I have been attending Otafest. As both an attendee and a volunteer, I have never gotten sick from Otafest. Probably because my body goes through this weird, like, oh, it's spring, time to get sick. And then I get sick for like a couple of days and then I'm fine. And usually when I get sick, it's not horrible. It doesn't floor me and absolutely destroy my body the way that, you know, COVID did for Sean that one year.
Oh yeah. No, I believe it. COVID was ooh.
Oh yeah. He was going through it. He had the worst of it, like just short of needing to be hospitalized.
Yeah, I believe it. It is crazy. It is
Yeah.
crazy how much COVID could ravage you. I'd
Yeah,
never
and
been
everyone
sick
reacted
as many
differently.
times as after I had COVID.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, it wrecked me.
Mm. Yeah, my immune system's been weird ever since I got COVID. I feel like it's been better. Like, I have more airborne allergies now, but generally I don't tend to just get sick, which I used to do a lot. I used to just like have a seasonal cold, so every like season I had a cold, and I that has not happened since I got COVID. But I have
Weird.
general allergies now.
Weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
Maybe the bell peppers are in the air.
Yeah, you know what?
Aerosolized bell pepper.
Paprika can just be ejected into the sun. Thank you.
No, then the sun would taste good and I would need to eat it.
Angelo, that's not how that works.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly how it works. I'm going to swim through space and eat that well-seasoned plasma ball.
So, randomly speaking of seasoning and Australia, I learned today there's a thing called chicken salt.
Chicken salt.
Chicken salt. So, it is one of the best seasoning salts, just like for all around anything. And it is a thing that they have down in Australia. I didn't know about it. Thank you, social media, for putting it on my feed, I guess. But I learned that I can just make it. But personally, I would have to take out the massive quantities of paprika that was added to it
Oh
and
no.
just replace it with regular chili powder because I can have chili powder. I cannot have paprika.
That is such a weird allergy that you have.
I know. And most people look at me kind of funny like, is that like all nightshades? Do we got to make sure you have no tomatoes? Like, no. Tomatoes are fine. I love tomatoes and all tomato products. I cannot have bell peppers. And I'm like, okay, but bell peppers are in everything. Bell pepper extract is one of the most popular seasonings for potato chips. So I am now extremely limited in the flavors of potato chips that I can have, which makes me very sad because I can never have barbecue or mesquite anymore. I can't even have the jalapeno and cheddar anymore
I feel
because
like you're
paprika's in
basically
it.
limited to salt and pepper, or like salt and vinegar, or like
And
dill pickle.
that's not terrible because I love both of those. But
Oh, they're fantastic, but still, you would want more.
there's this Miss Vicky's one, the lime and black pepper. That one's also good.
All right.
But yeah, I'm severely limited to the flavors of chips I can have. So it's just silly, just massive amounts of silly. And of course, anytime I talk to anybody and they go, no, paprika's a type of pepper. I'm like, yes, bell pepper.
Yes,
That's
bell
exactly
pepper.
what paprika is.
It is
Because in
dried
other
and
countries,
smoked bell pepper.
yeah, in other countries they call bell peppers paprikas.
Oh, really? I didn't know
They
that was
do.
like a general name for the fruit itself.
Well,
For the
bell
vegetable.
peppers are a specific version of peppers, right? Because there's all these
Yeah.
hot peppers,
Exactly.
and then you get bell peppers, and bell peppers are called paprikas.
Huh.
So it's just like I can't have paprika,
Yeah.
which sucks because
Oh.
all around it's sort of this like very minor background flavor that just sort of adds a little bit of something, but it's not like a strong flavor. It's not like adding garlic to anything. But I just can't have it, and it's just in everything.
It really is. Like, I don't think anybody has ever said, wow, the bell pepper really brings out the flavor in this dish.
No,
But
absolutely not.
But the bell pepper is there, lurking,
Yeah.
waiting
And bell
for
peppers-
you.
Bell peppers are like this really innocuous filler vegetable. Like it's used in so many stir fries. It's used when you just need something to toss with something else. Like
Oh, yeah.
I see it tossed with calamari sometimes, or like deep fried squid in like Chinese dishes. They'll sometimes toss in a bunch of bell pepper,
Absolutely,
just because when
'cause
you
it-
heat it up, it does have a bit of a flavor. But like, I
It's a
just need.
nice flavor. It's a nice texture. Like, it is good. It's just, it's filler material.
I just can't
And
have
you
it.
can't have it.
I can't have it. This is how people who are sensitive to gluten feel about almost everything because like they even need specifically gluten-free soy sauce because there are glutenable ingredients in soy sauce.
Yeah. I'm
So,
so lucky. My
I feel
only my only food issue is with limes.
really limes?
Limes specifically. They give me a
But
tummy ache every single time.
okay, how bad of a tummy ache are we talking?
Uh it would be bad enough. It depends on how much lime stuff that I eat. But I will
Huh.
just be like, I will want to go to bed and I'll be grumbly and I'll be like, oh no. Ooh. And it's weird because no other citrus does this to me.
Yeah, I have a friend who is sensitive to all citrus, and she is actively trying to desensitize her body to it. She's got like a counter of how many drops of orange juice she can have on a day-to-day basis to try and like up the number slowly. And I applaud her efforts because citrus is in everything.
Oh, 100%.
And
It is
citrus
so
is a flavor
pervasive.
I would miss.
And the problem is, limes are delicious
Yes, they are.
and they are a very common flavoring. Like the Moscow Mule cocktail.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You
Oh, I
can make
love
it with
those.
lemons, but it's not the same.
And you can put lemons in your Vietnamese noodles, but it's not the
It's
same as
not
a
the
nice
same.
wedge of lime sprinkled over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love limes. Limes are. I like most citruses. I don't think there's a citrus I don't like. We discovered a new type of like lime-like citrus fruit in Japan when we were there called the kabosu, and it's really, really good because in southern Japan, they take kabosu and they make like a salt out of it, and they sprinkle that on all their deep fried goods. Oh, it's
Oh
so
my.
so delicious.
Oh,
But
they
you
basically
may
that would
you may not
basically
be able to
just
have
be
it though
the
because
citric
kabosu is
acid
related
then.
to lime,
Maybe.
which I don't
Maybe.
really want to test if we go back to Japan again.
I would risk it.
Would you? You already went over there with an upset stomach the first time.
I would do it. It would only affect me for one night, I'm sure. It'd be worth it.
Okay, but I will remind you in the morning that we definitely informed you of the risks.
And we'll inform you of the risks, dear viewer, next time. Next time on the Otafest podcast.
Take care.
Bye-bye.